Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Haribo.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nita Gora Haribol, Gora Haribol, Nita Gora Haribol.
Nitya Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo.
Nita Gora Premanande Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Nilamadava Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Sinchi Gornitai Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we're hearing from Krishna consciousness, Hindu cult or divine culture? So this is from the book Self-Realization by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sometimes Indians, both inside and outside of India, think that we are preaching the Hindu religion. But actually, we are not. People should not think that we are preaching a sectarian religion. No. We are simply preaching how to love God. We are giving a spiritual culture that can solve all the problems of life, and therefore it is being accepted all over the world. That's a statement by Srila Prabhupada. And he continues, there is a misconception that the Krishna consciousness movement represents the Hindu religion. In fact, however, Krishna consciousness is in no way a faith or religion that seeks to defeat other faiths or religions. Rather, it is an essential cultural movement for the entire human society and does not consider any particular sectarian faith. This cultural movement is especially meant to educate people in how they can love God. Sometimes Indians, both inside and outside of India, think that we are preaching the Hindu religion, but actually we are not. One will not find the words Hindu in the Bhagavad Gita. Indeed, there is no such word as Hindu in the entire Vedic literature. This word has been introduced by the Muslims from provinces next to India, such as Afghanistan, Baluchistan, and Persia. There is a river called Sindhu bordering the northwestern province of India. And since the Muslims there could not pronounce Sindhu properly, they instead called the river Hindu. And the inhabitants of this tract of land they called Hindus. In India, according to Vedic language, the Europeans are called Malechas or Yavanas. Similarly, Hindu is a name given by the Muslims. India's actual culture is described in the Bhagavad Gita, where it is stated that according to the different qualities or modes of nature, there are different types of men who are generally classified into 4 social orders and 4 spiritual orders. This system of social and spiritual division is known as Varnashrama Dharma. The 4 Varnas are social orders, are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. The 4 ashramas are spiritual orders, are Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. The Varnashrama system is described in the Vedic scriptures known as the Puranas. The goal of this institution of Vedic culture is to educate every man for advancement in knowledge of Krishna or God. That is the entire Vedic program. When Lord Chaitanya talked with the great devotee Ramananda Rai, the Lord asked him, what is the basic principle of human life? Ramananda Raya answered that human civilization begins when Varnashram Dharma is accepted. Before coming to the standard of Varnashram Dharma, there is no question of human civilization. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to establish this right system of human civilization, which is known as Krishna consciousness, or Daiva Varnashram, divine culture. In India, the Varnashram system has now been taken in a perverted way, and thus a man born in the family of a Brahmana, the highest social order, claims that he should be accepted as a Brahmana. But this claim is not accepted by the Shastra or scriptures. One's forefather may have been a Brahmana according to Gotra, or the family hereditary order, but real Varnashram Dharma is based on the factual quality one has attained, regardless of birth or heredity. Therefore, we are not preaching the present-day system of the Hindus, especially those who are under the influence of Sankaracharya. For Sankaracharya taught that the absolute truth is impersonal, and thus he indirectly denied the existence of God. Sankaracharya's mission was special. He appeared in order to reestablish the Vedic influence after the influence of Buddhism. Because Buddhism was patronized by Emperor Ashoka 2,600 years ago, the Buddhist religion practically pervaded all of India. According to the Vedic literature, Buddha was an incarnation of Krishna who had a special power and who appeared for a special purpose. His system of thought or faith was accepted widely, but Buddha rejected the authority of the Vedas. While Buddhism was spreading, the Vedic culture was stopped, both in India and in other places. Therefore, since Sankaracharya's only aim was to drive away Buddha's system of philosophy, he introduced a system called Mayavada. Strictly speaking, Mayavada philosophy is atheism, for it is a process in which one imagines that there is God. This Mayavada system of philosophy has been existing since time immemorial. The present Indian system of religion or culture is based on the Mayavada philosophy of Sankaracharya, which is a compromise with Buddhist philosophy. According to Mayavada philosophy, there actually is no God, or if God exists, he is impersonal and all-pervading and can therefore be imagined in any form. This conclusion is not in accord with the Vedic literature. That literature names many demigods who are worshipped for different purposes, but in every case, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is accepted as the supreme controller. That is real Vedic culture. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness does not deny the existence of God and the demigods, but Mayavada philosophy denies both. It maintains that neither the demigods nor God exist. For the Mayavadis, ultimately, all is zero. They say that one may imagine any authority, whether Vishnu, Durga, Lord Shiva, or the sun god, because these are the demigods generally worshipped in society. But the Mayavada philosophy does not, in fact, accept the existence of any of them. The Mayavadis say that because one cannot concentrate one's mind on the impersonal Brahman, one may imagine any of these forms. This is a new system called Panchopasana. It was introduced by Sankaracharya. But the Bhagavad Gita does not teach any such doctrines, and therefore they are not authoritative. The Bhagavad Gita accepts the system the Bhagavad Gita accepts the existence of the demigods. The demigods are described in the Vedas, and one cannot deny their existence. But they are not to be understood or worshipped according to the way of Sankaracharya. The worship of demigods is rejected in the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita 7.20 clearly states, Kamais taistar hitagana prapadyante nya devata tam tam niyamam astaya pakrita niyataksvaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Furthermore, in Bhagavad Gita 2.44, Lord Krishna states, Bhagaisvarya prasaktanam tayaparata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadao navidyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. Those who are pursuing the various demigods have been described in Hrita Jnana, which means those who have lost their senses, or lost their sense. That is further explained in Bhagavad Gita 7.23. Antavat tu phalam te sam tad bhavati aplamedasam devan deva yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mam api. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. But my devotees, now this is Krishna, but my devotees reach my supreme abode. The rewards given by the demigods are temporary, because any material facility must act in connection with the temporary body. Whatever material facilities one gets, whether by modern scientific methods or by deriving benedictions from the demigods, will be finished with the body. But spiritual advancement will never be finished. People should not think that we are preaching a sectarian religion. No. We are simply preaching how to love God. There are many theories about the existence of God. The atheist, for example, will never believe in God. Atheists like Professor Jacques Monod, who won the Nobel Prize, declared that everything is chance, a theory already put forward long ago by atheistic philosophers of India, such as Charvaka. Then other philosophies, such as the Karma Mimamsa philosophy, accepts that if one goes on doing his work nicely and honestly, automatically the result will come, without need for one to refer to God. There's a lot of people that think like that in India and in America also. For evidence, the proponents of such theories cite the argument that if one is diseased with an infection and takes medicine to counteract it, the disease will be neutralized. But our argument in this connection is that even if one gives a man the best medicine, he still may die. Therefore, he still may die. The results are not always predictable. Therefore, there is a higher authority, Daiva Netrena, a supreme director, meaning Krishna. One second. For evidence, the proponents of such theories cite the argument that if one is diseased with an infection and takes medicine to counteract it, the disease will be neutralized. But our argument in this connection is that even if one gives a man the best medicine, he still may die. The results are not always predictable. Therefore, there is a higher authority, Daiva Netrena, a superior director, meaning Krishna. Otherwise, how is it that the son of a rich and pious man becomes a hippie in the street, or that a man who works very hard and becomes rich is told by his doctor, now you may not eat any food but only barley water, because he's sick. The Karma Mimamsa theory holds that the world is going on without the supreme direction of God. Of course, that's not true. Such philosophies say that everything takes place by lust, kama haitukam. By lust, a man becomes attracted to a woman, and by chance there is sex, and the woman becomes pregnant. There is actually no plan to make the woman pregnant, but by a natural sequence, when a man and woman unite, a result is produced. The atheistic theory, which is described in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, is asuric or demoniac, in that actually everything is going on in this way because of chance and resulting from neutral attraction. That, of course, is not accepted by the Krishna consciousness. This is demoniac theory, and it supports the idea that if one wants to avoid children, he may use a contraceptive method. Actually, however, there's a great plan for everything. The Vedic plan, the Vedic literature gives directions regarding how men and women should unite, how they should beget children, and what the purpose of sex life is. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that sex life sanctioned by the Vedic order, or sex life under the direction of the Vedic rules and regulations, is bona fide and is acceptable to him. But chance sex life is not acceptable. If by chance one is sexually attracted and there are children, they are called Varna Sankara, unwanted population. That is the way of the lower animals. It is not acceptable for humans. For humans, there is a plan. We cannot accept the theory that there is no plan for human life, or that everything is born of chance and material necessity. Sankaracharya's theory that there is no God and that one can go on with his work and imagine God in any form just to keep peace and tranquility in society, is also more or less based on this idea of chance and necessity. Our way, however, which is completely different, is based on authority. It is this divine Varnashram Dharma that Krishna recommends, not the caste system as it is understood today. This modern caste system is now condemned in India also, and it should be condemned, for the classification of different types of men according to birth is not the Vedic or divine caste system. There are many classes of men in society. Some men are engineers, some are medical practitioners, some are chemists, some are tradesmen, businessmen, and so on. These varieties of classes are not to be determined by birth, however, but by quality. No such thing as the caste by birth system is sanctioned by the Vedic literature, nor do we accept it. We have nothing to do with the caste system, which is also at present being rejected by the public in India. Rather, we give everyone the chance to become a Brahmana and thus attain the highest status of life. Because at the present moment, there is a scarcity of Brahmanas, spiritual guides, and Kshatriyas, administrative men, and because the entire world is being ruled by Sudras, or men of the manual laborer class, there are many discrepancies in society. It is to mitigate all these discrepancies that we have taken to this Krishna consciousness movement. If the Brahmana class is actually reestablished, the other orders of social well-being will automatically follow, just as when the brain is perfectly in order, the other parts of the body, such as the arms and belly and the legs, all act very nicely. The ultimate goal of this movement is to educate people in how to love God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approves the conclusion that the highest perfection of human life is to learn how to love God. The Krishna consciousness movement has nothing to do with the Hindu religion or any system of religion. No Christian gentleman will be interested in changing his faith from Christian to Hindu. Similarly, no Hindu gentleman of culture will be ready to change to the Christian faith. Such changing is for men who have no particular social status. But everyone will be interested in understanding the philosophy and science of God and taking it seriously. One should clearly understand that the Krishna consciousness movement is not preaching the so-called Hindu religion. We are giving a spiritual culture that can solve all the problems of life, and therefore it is being accepted all over the world. Krishna, or Christ, the name is the same. In 1974, near ISKCON Center in Frankfurt am Main, West Germany, Srila Prabhupada and several of his disciples take a morning walk with Father Emmanuel Juklosensen, a Benedictine monk from Nieder Alreich Monastery. Noticing that Srila Prabhupada is carrying a meditation beads, similar to the rosary, Father Emmanuel explains that he also chants a constant prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, be merciful unto us. The following conversation ensues. Srila Prabhupada, what is the meaning of the word Christ? Father Emmanuel, Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, meaning the anointed one. Srila Prabhupada, Christos is the Greek version of the word Krishna. Father Emmanuel, this is very interesting. Srila Prabhupada, when an Indian person calls on Krishna, he often says Krishna. Krishna is a Sanskrit word meaning attraction. So when we address God as Christ, Krishna, or Krishna, we indicate the same all-attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Jesus said, Our Father, who art in heaven, sanctified be thy name, that name of God was Krishna, or Krishna. Do you agree? Father Emmanuel, I think Jesus is the Son of God, has revealed to us the actual name of God, Christ. We can call God Father, but if we want to address him by his actual name, we have to say Christ. Yes, Prabhupada, yes, Christ. in another way of saying Krishna. And Krishna is another way of pronouncing Krishna. The name of God, Jesus, said that one should glorify the name of God. But yesterday, I heard one theologian say that God has no name, that we can call him only Father. A son may call his father, Father, but the Father also has a specific name. Similarly, God is the general name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose specific name is Krishna. Therefore, whether you call God Christ, Krishna, or Krishna, ultimately you are addressing the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. Father Emmanuel. Yes, if we speak of God, if we speak of God's actual name, then we must say Christos. In our religion, we have the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. We believe we can know the name of God only by revelation from the Son of God, Jesus Christ, revealed the name of the Father, and therefore we take the name Christ as the revealed name of God. Srila Prabhupada. Actually, it doesn't matter, Krishna or Christ. The name is the same. The main point is to follow the injunctions of the Vedic scriptures that recommend chanting the name of God in this age. The easiest way to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Hare is the energy of God. So when we chant the Maha Mantra, we address God through his energy. This energy is of two kinds, the spiritual and the material. At present, we are in the clutches of the material energy. Therefore, we pray to Krishna that he may kindly deliver us from the service of the material energy and accept us into the service of the spiritual energy. That is our whole philosophy. Hare Krishna means, O energy of God, O God, Krishna, please engage me in your service. It is our nature to render service. Somehow or other, we have come to the service of material things. But when we serve, but when this service is transformed into the service of the of the spiritual energy, then our life is perfect. To practice bhakti yoga, loving service to God, means to become free from designations like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, this or that, and simply to serve God. We have created Christian, Hindu, and Mohammedan religions, but when we come to a religion without designations, in which we don't think we are Hindus or Christians or Mohammedans, then we can speak of pure religion or bhakti. Father Emmanuel, mukti? Srila Prabhupada, no, bhakti. When we speak of bhakti, mukti, liberation from material miseries, is included. Without bhakti, there is no mukti. But if we act on the platform of bhakti, then mukti is included. We learn this from the Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mam chayo vibhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Sagunam samatityaitan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down under any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Father Emmanuel, is Brahman Krishna? Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is Para Brahman, Brahman is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, as localized Paramatma, and as personal Brahman. Wait a minute. Krishna is Para Brahman. Brahman is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, as localized Paramatma, and as personal Brahman. Krishna is personal, and he is the supreme Brahman. For God is ultimately a person. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is confirmed. Vadanti tat tatra vidas tatvam yajganam advayam. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabhyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. The feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate realization of God. He has six opulences in full. He is the strongest, the richest, the most beautiful, the most famous, the wisest, and the most renounced. Father Emmanuel. Yes, I agree, Srila Prabhupada. Because God is absolute, his name, his form, his qualities are also absolute, and they are none different from him. Therefore, to chant God's holy name means to associate directly with him. When one associates with God, one acquires godly qualities, and when one is completely purified, one becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord. Father Emmanuel. By our understanding of the name of God is limited. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, we are limited, but God is unlimited. And because he is unlimited or absolute, he has unlimited names, each of which is God. We can understand his names as much as our spiritual understanding is developed. Father Emmanuel. May I ask a question? We Christians also preach love of God, and we try to realize love of God and render service to him with all our heart and all our soul. Now, what is the difference between your movement and ours? Why do you send your disciples to the Western countries to preach love of God when the gospel of Jesus Christ is propounding the same message? Srila Prabhupada. The problem is that the Christians do not follow the commandments of God. Do you agree? Father Emmanuel. Yes, to a large extent, you're right. Srila Prabhupada. Then what is the meaning of the Christians' love of God? If you do not follow the orders of God, then where is your love? Therefore, we have come to teach what it means to love God. If you love God, you cannot be disobedient to his orders. And if you're disobedient, your love is not true love. All over the world, people love not God, but their dogs. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore necessary to teach people how to revive their forgotten love of God. Not only the Christians, but also the Hindus, the Mohammedans, and all others are guilty. They have rubber-stamped themselves, Christian, Hindu, or Mohammedan, but they do not obey God. That is the problem. Visitor. Can you say in what way the Christians are disobedient? Prabhupada. Yes. The first point is that they violate the commandment, thou shalt not kill. By maintaining slaughterhouses, do you agree that this commandment is being violated? Father Emmanuel. Personally, I agree. Srila Prabhupada. Good. So if the Christians want to love God, They must stop killing animals. Father Emmanuel. But isn't the most important point, Srila Prabhupada, if you miss this one point, there is a mistake in your calculation. Regardless of what you add or subtract after that, the mistake is already in the calculation, and everything that follows will also be faulty. We cannot simply accept that part of the scripture we like and reject that which we don't like, and still accept to get the result. For example, a hen lays eggs with his back part and eats with his beak. A farmer may consider the front part of the hen is very expensive because I have to feed it. Better to cut it off. But if the head is missing, there will be no eggs anymore because the body is dead. Similarly, if we reject the difficult part of the scriptures and obey the part we like, such an interpretation will not help us. We have to accept all the injunctions of the scripture as they are given, not only those that suit us. If you do not follow the first order, thou shalt not kill, then where is the question of love of God? Visitor. Christians take this commandment to be applicable to human beings, not to animals. It's a very good question. Srila Prabhupada, that would mean that Christ was not intelligent. He was not intelligent enough to use the right word, murder. There is killing, and there is murder. Murder refers to human beings. Do you think Jesus was not intelligent enough to use the right word, murder, instead of the word killing? Killing means any kind of killing, and especially animal killing. If Jesus had meant simply the killing of humans, he would have used the word murder. But in the Old Testament, Father Emmanuel, but in the Old Testament, the commandment, thou shalt not kill, does refer to murder. And when Jesus said, thou shalt not kill, he extended this commandment to mean that a human being should not only refrain from killing another human being, but should also treat him with love. He never spoke about man's relationship with other living entities, but only about his relationship with the human being. When he said, thou shalt not kill, he also meant in the mental and emotional sense that we should not insult anyone or hurt him, treat him badly, and so on. Srila Prabhupada. We are not concerned with this or that testament, but only with the words used in the commandments. If you want to interpret these words, that is something else. We understand the direct meaning. Thou shalt not kill means that Christians should not kill. You may put forth interpretations in order to continue the present way of action, but we understand very clearly that there is no need for interpretation. Interpretation is necessary if things are not clear, but here the meaning is clear. Thou shalt not kill is a clear instruction. Why should we interpret it? Father Emmanuel. Isn't the eating of plants also killing? Srila Prabhupada. The Vaishnava philosophy teaches that we should not even kill plants unnecessarily. In the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 26th verse, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti uparatam asnami prayatat mana. If someone offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a little water, I will accept it. We offer Krishna only the kind of food he demands, and then we eat the remnants. If offering vegetarian food to Krishna were sinful, then it would be Krishna's sin, not ours. But God is apapa vidha. Sinful reactions are not applicable to him. He is like the sun, which is so powerful that it can purify even urine, sometimes impossible for us to do. Krishna is also like a king who may order a murderer to be hanged, but who himself is beyond punishment because he is very powerful. Eating food first offered to the Lord is also something like a soldier's killing during wartime. In war, when the commander orders a man to attack the obedient soldier who kills the enemy, we'll get a medal. But if the same soldier kills someone on his own, he will be punished. Similarly, when we eat only prasada, the remnants of food offered to Krishna, we do not commit any sin. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 3.13. Yagya sisastitam santo muchyante sarvakil basai. Bunjate te tvaka ham papa ye pachanti atmakaranat. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food that is first offered for sacrifice. Others, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. Father Emmanuel. Krishna cannot give permission to eat. Krishna cannot give permission to eat animals? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, in the animal kingdom. But the civilized human being, the religious human being, is not meant to kill and eat animals. If you stop killing animals and chant the holy name of Christ, everything will be perfect. I have not come to teach you, but only to request you to please chant the name of God. The Bible also demands this of you. So let's kindly cooperate and chant. And if you have a prejudice against chanting the name Krishna, then chant Christos or Krishna. There is no difference. Sri Chaitanya said, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarvasakti. God has millions and millions of names. And because there is no difference between God's name and himself, each one of these names has the same potency as God. Therefore, even if you accept designations like Hindu, Christian, or Mohammedan, if you simply chant the name of God found in your own scriptures, you will attain the spiritual platform. Human life is meant for self-realization, to learn how to love God. That is the actual duty of man. Whether you discharge this duty as a Hindu, a Christian, or a Mohammedan, it doesn't matter. But discharge it. Father Emmanuel, I agree. Srila Prabhupada, pointing to a string of 108 meditation beads. We always have these beads, just as you have your rosary. You are chanting, but why not the other Christians also chant? Why should they miss the opportunity as human beings? Cats and dogs cannot chant, but we can, because we have a human tongue. If we chant the holy names of God, we cannot lose anything. On the contrary, we gain greatly. My disciples practice chanting Hare Krishna constantly. They could not go to the cinema or do so many other things, but they have given up everything. They eat neither fish, nor meat, nor eggs. They don't take intoxicants. They don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't partake in gambling. They don't speculate. They don't maintain illicit sexual connections. But they do chant the holy name of God. If you would like to cooperate with us, then go to the churches and chant Christ, Krishna, or Krishna. What could be the objection? Father Emmanuel. There is none. For my part, I would be glad to join with you. Srila Prabhupada. No, we are speaking with you as a representative of the Christian church. Instead of keeping the churches closed, why not give them to us? We would chant the holy name of God there 24 hours a day. Because there's many churches that have been closed. Yeah, and they're not, they're just remaining closed. The Christians, in general, do not want to sell those churches. So Prabhupada's saying, well, why don't you let us, use these churches? We'll chant the holy names of God. If you would like to cooperate with us, then go to the churches and, wait a minute, let's see. My disciples practice chanting Hare Krishna constantly. They could not also go to the cinema or do so many other things, but they are given everything up. They have given everything up. They eat neither fish nor meat nor eggs. They don't take intoxicants. They don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't partake in gambling. They don't speculate. And they don't maintain illicit sexual connections. But they do chant the holy name of God. If you would like to cooperate with us, then go to the churches and chant Christ, Krishna, Krishna. What could be the objection? Father Emmanuel, there is none. For my part, I would be glad to join you. Prabhupada, no, we are speaking with you as a representative of the Christian church. Instead of keeping the churches closed, why not give them to us? We would chant the holy name of God there 24 hours a day. In many places, we have brought churches that were practically closed because no one was going there. In London, I saw hundreds of churches that were closed or used for mundane purposes. We brought one such church in Los Angeles. It was sold because no one came there. But if you visit this same church today, you will see thousands of people. Any intelligent person can understand that God is in 5 minutes. It doesn't require 5 hours. Father Emmanuel, I understand, Srila Prabhupada, but the people do not. Their disease is that they don't want to understand. Visitor, I think understanding God is not a question of intelligence, but a question of humility. Srila Prabhupada, humility means intelligence. The humble and meek own the kingdom of God. This is stated in the Bible, is it not? But the philosophy of the rascals is that everyone is God. And today, this idea has become popular. Therefore, no one is humble and meek. If everyone thinks that he is God, why should he be humble and meek? Therefore, I teach my disciples how to become humble and meek. They always offer their respectful obeisances in the temple and to the spiritual master, and in this way, they make advancement. The qualities of humbleness and meekness lead very quickly to spiritual realization. In the Vedic scriptures, it is said, to those who have firm faith in God and the spiritual master, who is his or God's representative, the meaning of the Vedic scriptures is revealed. Father Emmanuel. But shouldn't this humility be offered to everyone else also? Prabhupada. Yes, but there are two kinds of respect, special and ordinary. Sri Krishna Chaitanya taught that we should expect honor for ourselves, but should always respect everyone else. Sri Krishna Chaitanya taught that we shouldn't expect honor for ourselves, but should always respect everyone else. even if he is disrespectful to us. But special respect should be given to God and his pure devotee, Father Emmanuel. Yes, I agree. Srila Prabhupada. I think the Christian priests should cooperate with the Krishna consciousness movement. They should chant the name Christ or Christos and should stop condoning the slaughter of animals. This program shows the teachings of the Bible. It is not my philosophy. Please act accordingly, and you will see how the world situation will change. Father Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. But have the Christians stopped eating meat? No. Maybe there's some that, I know some that are vegetarians, they don't eat meat. But that's just a small, let's say, number of priests. Most priests eat meat, they drink wine. They think that drinking wine is just fine. In vino veritas, they say. In vino veritas. It means that when you drink wine, then the truth comes out. In vino veritas. Okay, so we'll stop right there. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
As you were reading that Prabhupada had mentioned churches are getting like closed or nobody is going there.
Yeah.
So what are the primary reasons, Maharaj, that next generation of Christians are not that interested or inclined in taking the Christianity?
What is the question?
So like in our temple, like all the kids are coming, so that next generation is also getting educated from the childhood. But in Christians, in churches, mostly what I have observed and learned is like mostly old age people will come. Like very rarely
In
kids.
some churches, there are other mega churches where a lot of people come. It's not everywhere. But there are some churches, there are mega churches where there's thousands of people coming. Yeah. And they have Christian schools for kids. Yeah. And you have the schools of what do you call it? Anyway, the Christians have schools, but in some places, their schools and their churches have been closed. There are other places where they're thriving. They have plenty of people coming to the church and plenty of people giving donations and so forth. So anyway, we should understand that Christianity, as it's being practiced today, has faults in it. The Christians, for the most part, not all, but most, eat meat. And they don't see anything wrong with that. There are Christians that engage in sex. They don't see anything wrong with that. So they're not perfect, let's put it like that. There are some Christians that are very perfect, that are really serious. But the most Christians are not really serious unfortunately. Right? And they have some bad habits, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and so forth. So we have to just give a good example. We should give a good example. And they should see our exemplary behavior. And they should hear about it also. That way, people will make a decision where they're going to go, what church they're going to go to. They're going to come to the Hare Krishna church, or they're going to go to the other churches. You know? So we should always have very clean, very serious devotees, and you'll see, naturally, people will go where they see sincere people, or people who are capable of becoming good devotees. So we have to preach. Without preaching, nothing good happens. So we have to preach with faith and have nice programs where people are treated very with respect. And even if they don't join us, but they will talk to other people and say, well, I might never join these people, but they're good people. So we should have that type of, let's say, identification of being very good devotees and serious devotees. Little by little, over time, many people will come if we maintain purity. So that should be our goal right now, to maintain pure devotional service and preach nicely and distribute prasadam, a lot of prasadam, and chant nicely and not get into any arguments with people. Right? Haribol. Okay, any other questions or comments? Yes, brother. Why does it do that? Why is it? What? Huh?
Hare Krishna.
Why? Yeah. Why? Are we too close to this thing? Yeah, you don't need. Yeah. Are there what? Yeah. Yes. Well, maybe not here, but other places, yes. I mean, we could. I mean, I have held programs where we invited Christians and Jews and atheists to come and talk to us, and they come. You know, and I mean, I could do it again. We could start doing it again. They'll come. They'll come to have nice discussion. So if you want, I can organize it. Yeah. Well, whenever you have these interfaith programs, we shouldn't try to convince the other people to become Krishna conscious, but we should talk seriously about how people can make spiritual advancement. We shouldn't try and change their philosophy because they'll get upset. But we should speak in such a way that they'll learn how to have genuine spiritual life. It shouldn't be a what you would call an attempt to change their religion, but rather to enlighten them. Right. And they might enlighten us also. You know. Yeah, so when you have respect for these people in different religions, they feel not threatened, then they'll talk to you. But if our only purpose is to convert them to Krishna consciousness, they're going to feel very uncomfortable with that, and they won't come to our programs. Yeah, definitely. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So from now on, we should not, stay close to that thing? Huh?
It's better to switch this mic there itself. If you come here and switch it on, then that's on.
We'll check with the experts. We'll check with him.
No, okay, so don't change anything. So now we won't use the microphone near this thing.
Let me take it far and test it. If I take it far, I will go.
Go. Go there, go there.
Go to Prabhupada. I don't want to do it personally.
No, that's all right.
You have to test it some other time when there is nobody in the room. We'll
Okay.
test it.
I don't remember doing that.
Maybe there is some problem with this.
Only for this mic.
Only for this mic. We should change this mic. We'll use another mic, Maharaj. We'll test it.
Okay.
For